What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. I'm Joel, this is the Sleeper channel, and let's just jump right in. I'm gonna give you a quick update on our 03 Bug-Eye and show you kind of where we're at. Be sure to stick around after I give you the updates on this car because I'm going to reveal the next project, and I know I've been promising you guys that. So we're gonna do that today, and I'm gonna start tearing into that thing, and we're gonna see what it's all about. So stay tuned. I have wrapped up a lot of things on this car. There is still a few details that need to get sorted out, but for the most part, she is ready to go. Fender liners need to go in. I have those ordered. They should be here any day. Also, this windshield seal, use like some clear silicone to reinstall this thing and make sure it doesn't come out. In addition, these wheels are not going to be sold with the car. I'm actually waiting for some 5mm spacers, and I'm going to sell the OE wheels that came on this car. With the 5mm spacer, it will clear these upgraded calipers that I put on. So as soon as those get here, we can swap those out. I do have the side skirts on. Sorry, they're real dirty. That's just like dust on them. But yeah, she's pretty much ready to go. I polished the paint. It looks like crap because I suck at painting, but it just is what it is. I actually sold this car to a really close friend of mine. So shout out to you, Adrian. Thanks for taking this whip off my hands. I'm glad that it's going to someone who's gonna enjoy it. Just trying to wrap up all these small little things before he takes it off my hands. But she is looking pretty solid. I got the interior all put back in. So yeah. Adrian, the new owner, and myself took this thing for a little test drive yesterday, and she rips. It's a really fun car. So I think he's gonna have a really good time with this thing. And I really like that it's going to someone that I know, that I'm close with, because I'll be able to see how long it lasts with this hybrid setup that I did on the engine. There's a lot of conflicting opinions about the hybrid swaps on these. Some people say that using the thicker head gasket doesn't work well to adjust for the difference in compression. Most people that say that strongly believe that you have to get the cylinder heads machined so that the cylinder head will match the bores on the 2.5 liter block. However, this swap with these RCM 1.5mm head gaskets was recommended to me by Flatirons Tuning. John Cooley, one of the guys that runs that that shop over there in Boulder, Colorado, recommended it to me. He said a bunch of their guys that have built these have done a similar thing, and as long as you're keeping the horsepower reasonable, then they last a long time and do really well. So that's pretty much the 03 Bug-Eye, where she sits now. It's all pretty much complete, just those little things that I got to dial in. Oh, and we also need to finish the tune on this thing. So that's what I'm going to be doing this week, doing some data logging for my tuner and getting the tune all sorted out so that she is ready to go. Anyway, so let's move on to the next project. I will just go ahead and reveal what I picked up and what you guys have been waiting to see. I know I've been promising you guys that I will reveal the next project, so I'm gonna do that right now. So let's get into it. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot to show you guys on this Bug-Eye build is I repainted underneath the hood because it was looking pretty janky and pretty nasty. So as you can see, it looks so much nicer. I'm sure you'll remember from the other videos that it had the original paint under there. It was that like burgundy color, but it was all faded and there was some like overspray over here. It just looked horrible. So went through, repainted all these little trim pieces and repainted the shroud, and it just looks so good now in this engine bay. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked how that turned out. And so yeah, without further ado, let's get into revealing this next project. All right guys, so I have the next project sitting right in front of me here. So I'm gonna turn the camera and I think you guys will be surprised. There she is in all her glory. It's another Subaru. Just kidding, you guys probably aren't surprised at all because the only people that watch this are probably just my friends and family at this point. And you know that I love Subies. So Let me put my sunglasses on. So yeah, let's walk around this thing. It is another bug eye. I wasn't like seeking out a bug eye necessarily. This one just popped up and I got it for really cheap. So yeah, let's have a little walk through. So this is the exterior. All of the front lights are intact, which is cool. The fogs work, the headlights work. All that stuff works. There's a big ass dent right here in the hood, but I think that I can fix that. There's a big dent right here as well in this panel. I may try to just source some sedan front fenders anyways, because I do like the front fenders on the sedan more. They have that wide body look to them that the wagon doesn't, as you can see right here, compared to this. As you can see, it just comes down and it has that flare, and I just think it looks really good. So I'm gonna try to source some of those and keep it as cheap as possible, because yeah, I just don't like spending a lot of money on body panels. So these fenders were rolled to fit these wheels, and it was pretty horrendous. I did not like it. I think that whoever did it maybe just doesn't have a lot of experience rolling fenders. I'm not really sure. Did not look good though. I actually pounded them back in as best I could. Did a pretty decent job on this side. They don't look great, but it's nothing we can't attempt to fix on our own. So yeah, but other than that, this side looks pretty good, you know? All the glass is intact. The door panels are not dented, which was something that was really important to me. Trying to fix dented door panels is pretty hard, I have found. No sunroof, which I'm stoked about. I do not like sunroofs. I never use them anyways. They're just heavy, and it's just another thing that can break. Moving on to the rear. The rear looks pretty good. The hatch door closes just fine, and the glass isn't cracked or anything in the back, so that's cool. And the little wing up here is still really solid. Tail lights aren't cracked or broken. Everything works on them. Onto this side, this quarter panel, it had this dent here and it was rolled, so it just looked awful. I worked on it a little bit, only for like 10 minutes or something though. It was flared way out because they rolled it so damn far to fit this wheel and tire setup. It just looked so bad. I couldn't stand it, so I just had to try to like smack it a little bit and straighten it out. And these two doors, other than this spot right here, which really ain't bad, I think I can fix that with some body filler. Other than that, they look pretty good. There's one small dent here. I have no idea what's the deal with these side skirts. It's like a side skirt on top of a side skirt, and they're like some really crappy like knockoff brand. These little rails up here, still all solid. Mirrors are solid. Windshield is kind of effed. There's a big old crack in it all the way across, and it's like spidering right over here. This is the interior. She's pretty filthy, pretty dirty. Homeboy left his plates in here. Not sure why. I would never do that. There's like a light over there that looks like it's busted. It's not something we can't fix though. The headliner is in pretty decent shape. There is some like scuff marks and some stains like that over there. But honestly, I can just like get all that out and make it look brand new again without even taking it out. Seats are disgusting. There's like dirt caked on them back here. Bunch of like amp wiring or subwoofer wiring from like a stereo system they had. Let's lift these up for a sec. But the seats are actually, the material is actually in really good shape still. They just need to be cleaned. So I'm pretty stoked about that. The other headrest is down there. There's some trash in here still. Carpet is stained, but I think I can fix it, no problem. Homeboy forgot his rolling papers. He's gonna be bombed. Door cards are in phenomenal shape. I rarely find cars with the door cards so intact, man. And like, there's like a few scuffs, but really not too bad. Fronts are the same. There's the driver's side. He put some black seats, and this one's all torn up in the front. I don't know where he got these. I forget which model had the black ones, but came with a JDM ECU. Not sure why. He wasn't totally sure. I asked him if they did like an EJ205, like a JDM EJ205 swap at some point, and he wasn't really sure. So I have no idea how many miles are actually on this engine. But yeah, so you can see like the dash all still really intact. 232,000 miles on the odometer, but like I said, who knows what's actually on the engine. Let me pop the hood for you so you can see what that's about. Wait till you see this beauty. Boom, there she is. It's so nasty. This is my battery. I had to put this in because the battery was dead. So, but yeah, she is pretty dirty, as you can see. It's got this massive Perrin intake, which is kind of a good intake. I may just clean it up and keep it and run it. But yeah, this really ugly top mount by Turbo XS. I hate how this mounting bracket looks on here. It's so ugly. Missing the bracket on this side for the intercooler, which is funny. For some reason the horns are mounted up in there. I don't know why. Yeah, he's got like looks like a Grimspeed divorced downpipe. Looks like there was an AFR gauge at one point, but it's since been clipped. Yeah, who knows how many engines this thing's had. I feel like it's rare to find these from this generation, especially this year, that haven't been swapped at least at some point for this mileage. So let's start it up. What's crazy is this car drives. I drove it home. It's like a 20-minute drive from where I picked it up, and it does drive. And the reason that's crazy is because of how cheap I got it for. Sounds horrible. Look at this thing. Look at how bad it shakes. I don't know if the camera's really picking that up, but it shakes like crazy. And that really loud ticking, like I know these Subarus tend to be a little loud and they do tick. They just have like noisy valves. That's pretty common, but that just seems excessive to me, and I don't know, there's something up with that. So and the fact that it shakes so bad, I haven't looked underneath, so maybe it's missing some engine mounts, or you know, the engine's just toast. Clearly got like an exhaust leak too, and it's got this like Vidya exhaust on there. It doesn't sound bad. God, I don't know what kind of wheels these are. What does it say? Just says petrol. Cool. Those will be coming off. They're way too wide for this. Maybe if there were coils on it, you could adjust the camber slightly, but even still, I just think it wouldn't go enough without it looking like a stance boy, and I'm not into that. So I'm gonna pull it into the garage, and first, what we're gonna do with this thing is I'm actually going to compression test it. I wanna see if the bottom block still has good compression. So yeah, there she is, guys. The new project. This crusty ass old wagon. We're gonna bring it back to life. I'm just gonna let this engine cool down a little bit, and then we are going to compression test this thing and see how healthy that short block is. All right, so grab our gauge here. I believe this gauge will hold the value, like the highest value, and won't like just drop off. So whatever the compression is in that cylinder, as high as it gets, the needle will stop and stay there. So the nice thing about this is you can do it alone. Hook this up. 105? That seems pretty dang low to me, but let's try it one more time. Yep, still 105. All right, guys, so I have cylinder number 4 hooked up. Yeah, let's turn this over and see what cylinder 4 looks like. 105. 105. All right, moving on. All right, cylinder number 1, let's go. How is that possible? Zero? Zero. Zero compression. All right, guys, so I have our compression gauge hooked back up to cylinder number 3. We're gonna recheck it. If we get 105 PSI in cylinder 3 again, then we know that our gauge is still working, and yeah, cylinder number 1 is just shot. So that means cylinder number 1 isn't holding any compression because it gives us 0 PSI. That's hard to believe, but maybe that's sometimes the case. It could be like a ringland failure in there, or the rings are just like damaged and it's really not holding any kind of seals. I went into buying this thing assuming the engine was going to need to be replaced, so I'm not upset about it. I'm actually kind of happy about it. I wanted an excuse to just swap the whole thing. All right, so the results are in. We have 105 PSI on cylinders 2, 3, and 4, and 0 compression on cylinder 1. That's actually kind of what I expected going into this thing. It makes me happy that I only paid what I did for this car. The great thing about these EJ205s is I can pick up a long block for this thing super cheap, for around $1,000. I really want this to be a budget build, but not one that's cheaply done, if that makes sense. So cost effective, but not using cheap, crappy parts. These cars don't like cheap parts. They don't do well with them. Often the fitment is a huge issue, and with that, you just get a poor running vehicle, and they just don't really last. And the reason I want to do that is because I feel like that's more relatable. I want it to be more geared towards the average person. I paid $1,500 for this car, and I would like to do the whole build and make it just a really rad car, and a super quick one at that, for under $10,000. It's gonna be quite a journey for me. It's gonna be a fun one. I can't wait to get started. And I hope that you guys will join me. So if you are interested, make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you can see these videos as soon as they come out. With all that said, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you like this and you got something out of it, hit that like button, please. It really does help me out with the algorithm. I know I didn't go into too much detail with how to do the compression test. I showed you a little bit of it. There's a lot of videos on YouTube already. Thanks for joining in, and until next time, peace out, everyone.